So they brought in the coins, baby. They brought in the coins. Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for Legendary. This is season 2, episode 6, the Fantastic Plastic, or Plastic Fantastic is what it was. The Plastic Fantastic Ball. It basically was a ball centering around toys, sort of like a little Toy Story thing. And the guest judge was King Maya Scott, child with her beautiful self. I said, oh my God, when she came out in this beautiful princessy dress with a little three-dimensional shoulder, something going on that looked like acrylic. Just listen, I've been following Amaya for a long time. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Talented actress. Legend on the ballroom floor. She's a face legend, film queen girl. Listen, you don't want no parts of it. But yes, and I'm missing her so much. She was on Star. She played Cotton on the Star on Fox, which was like my favorite. But anyway, love Amaya Scott. Anyway, let's go on. The other thing we found out is not going to be any elimination. Nobody is being eliminated. So it's just a money grab. I said, cool. So what the category called for is floor performance, bringing one toy to life. So I said, this is going to be interesting. Why do they have such a hard time sticking to what the challenge is? It's crazy to me. And I'm like, come on, from the ballroom. You know how nitpicky that the girls are. So why is it always such an issue? They get caught up too much into these costumes and other little things. And it seems as though the main pieces of the challenges keep getting lost sometimes. And I don't understand it. I don't understand how that happens. I don't know if when they mention things to them originally, they're saying something different than how they're explaining them to us, the viewer. But it just is amazing to me how, like we said, first, straight out the door, we know that the main thing here is floor performance. Why you're not on the floor, I understand not at all. So that's like one of those things for me. I'm like, what is going on and why is some of the main things they're looking for keep getting lost? I don't know. But anyway, first up, House of Miyake Mugler. They went with a whole rainbow colored doll. It was really kind of geared around pride and that whole thing. It was cute, cute, cute. It really was. And I have to say, you know, I've had a lot of gripes this season with Legendary. I had a lot of gripes. I did a lot of, I've been doing my reviews live, and I just decided not to do this one live today. I don't know. I just wasn't feeling it. So we're here pre-recorded. Y'all be okay. Y'all be okay. But I enjoyed this ball. This one, I found myself sitting back, and this was the first. No, I'll say the second, because the first episode, I was like, okay, it ended too soon. That's always been the thing. Like, I always enjoy myself with Legendary, and I'm like, shoot, it's going off already. But I haven't been feeling that way this season. This episode, I was like, darn, let's get it go off. So, very good. I got back on track here. I have less gripes than I've had in the previous episodes. So, this was a good one for me. But, why I decided to come pre-recorded as opposed to live, I don't know. I can't tell you that. Y'all already know how I am, Mr. Jamesism. I feel how I feel, and I just kind of move on it. But anyway, this I enjoyed. this little rainbow colored thing. Their costumes, Muglier's costumes, were so cute. They really were cute. And that's all I can say about this whole presentation. It was just cute, cute, cute. That's what I wrote in my notes. That's what I wrote while I was going on. It was cute. At one point, it looked like Amaya was getting ready to start to cry. And I said, girls, you going to cry over there? Because it did kind of transport you back to your childhood and cartoons and that whole thing. It really was cute. And it really just said toys and fun and carefree and no grown-up problems and all of that. It was just damned cute. It really was. The judges loved it. And then we come out with this whole thing with Megan the Stallion. Megan got a little crush on Diego. Girl, I understand. Because I think she was already kind of crushing on him anyway. And then I think when old boy marched his little self on down there with the whole body category last week, that kind of did it for Megan. And yeah, she crushing on old Diego a little bit. I said, girl, listen, girl, brush up against him, honey. He might give you what you want, honey. You never know. You know how the kids are, honey. He's a cutie, though. Anyway, moving on. Next was the House of Garcon, honey. They did a toy car. It was very Transformers. They lost. Come on, Miss Starsha, girl, what y'all doing? They lost what they were doing. They lost themselves in what they were doing. They got so creative till they went off topic, basically. So it was more this whole Transformer thing. The costumes were fab. The building of a car really looked like a car. They really put themselves in a position where they looked like a car. Their act. One, I thought it needed sped up. Okay, the music was cool, but the tempo of the music, I thought needed to be sped up because it became a little to watch. So it just needed to be sped up. But they looked fab. They did, and I think what they did would have worked better on America's Got Talent. It would have been perfectly suited for that show. But let me just say this to you, House of Garcon. Baby, Tonka can't dance. Tonka is not a dancer. And I'm tired of saying that every week. And y'all act like y'all don't get it. Starsha, you know better. Girl, you are a pageant queen. Would you take and put Tonka in a dance number at Continental? No, you would not. You wouldn't even, Miss Starsha, stop it. You wouldn't even think of it or dream of it. You would put him in some other role and stop putting Tonka center stage. He has no business being center stage unless the category has something to do with size. And then you play off of it. But that's it. That is what he does. He is a cute big boy figure. That's what he is. He's cute in the face and he's a big boy figure, but he is not a dancer. He is not fun to watch dance. It is cringeworthy every time you all put him in the center, and it just stop it. Stop it. Stop putting him in the middle. Stop making him the focal point. Unless it has to do with cute face and a big boy figure. Other than that dancing and voguing, no. If y'all are dancing and voguing, he don't need to be doing nothing but y'all rolling over top of him, using him to build on top of, standing on him. And I'm not trying to be rude, but I'm being real at this point in the competition. Standing on him, building on him doing lifts, things that big boys do. It is what it is. That baby can't dance. He not no dancer and he not no voguer. Them knees ain't built for none of that bouncing about. take Tonka out the middle. And it don't mean we don't love Tonka. We love him. He is so adorable and he is so likable, but he's not no dancer. Nah, I said it. Moving on. And we love you, Tonka. Ain't no thing. And there's nothing wrong with you're a big figure. Yes, you're good for pyramiding and climbing and rolling and jumping over and all that shit. Big is big. Shit, I'm big. Ain't nothing wrong with having a not so small back. Honey, but get in your lane. You're not no Voguer. And there are big Vogers, but you're not one of them. Moving on. House of Balenciaga. Oh, and the scores were low. Naturally, the scores were low. They said exactly what I said. We agree. And that Law, oh, that bitch's hair was sharp this week. That bitch had one old blonde, old nasty piece of. I said, girl, you over there giving a me lingerie hairdo, honey. I love it, honey. That is so cute, honey. This little platinum swoop. I said, girl, get on down, Miss Law, honey. Bitch. And it was cut to perfection. I said, come on with that big bitch. It was sharp. Really, really sharp. Anyway, moving on. House of Balenciaga was next. They were living paper dolls. It was just good. I don't even have nothing. I'm not getting ready to go. It was just good. It really was good. The judges loved it. Now, the next group, honey, listen, you know I've been rough on them because their little chant drives me crazy. Tishi, honey. House of Tishi were toy soldiers, and them bitches over there at Tishi, honey. And I expected nothing less from them because, one, they are a house full of dancers. So I expected good things from Tishi. Did up. When I say Tishi came out there and these toy soldiers and they literally turned this whole category out. Hands down, nothing to say. They turned it out. And Stanley, baby, Stanley ate the floor for his. They put Stanley up and literally gave him a solo performance because this wasn't about a solo thing. And I was like, oh, when they said Stanley was going to do a solo floor performance, I was like, oh, that might work against y'all. You know what I mean? Because they really want everybody engaged. That goddamn Stanley, the things that he did down on that floor, it was undeniable. That Stanley turned that goddamn stage out. Tishi was everything for me for this category in this competition. That's my favorite thing that I've seen them do thus far. And Tishi is good. They really are good. They're good as a house. And again, and it's so funny because I said this, professional dancers don't always make the best Voguers. Because again, they're used to make pretty lines and toes pointed and moves very sharp, and that's not what voguing is. Vogue is very raw. Vogue is very, I feel like this right now, and no, I don't feel like my toe pointed. I feel like my foot flexed, and a lot of times it's the opposite. You know, for when you're voguing. The opposite. Voguing is basically like dancing backwards because it really is. Things look better when they're incomplete a lot of times when you're voguing. Like I said, there's a better impact with things in vogue with a flex. There's more moves that are better executed with a flexed foot than there is with a pointed foot. When your toe is pointed, a lot of times it don't have that raw emotion and that bitch. When you do, like if you're doing like a high kick, if you're doing a high kick right quick, you go ready to 6 o'clock a bitch right fast in the middle of a move, it don't look good with a pointed toe like a ballerina when you voguing. But if you do that same kick with your foot flexed, it just says, bitch, get out of my way. I'm great. Light your ass up, whore. That's what Vogue is. It's raw. It's raw and it's backwards. It's all the rules out the window. I'm just doing what I feel. It's very that. And a lot of the moves take you back to very African dance. Like African dance hits different than ballet. African dance make you feel something. That's what Vogue is. It make you feel something. So yeah, you got to flex your foot instead of point your toe in these instances. Baby, let a bitch know. Bitch up here. Roundhouse with your toe, with your foot flex. And when it hit the ground, bam, bitch, just got you, bitch. That's Vogue. Anyway, but Tishi turned it for me. Anyway, moving on. House of Arishi. They were marionette puppets. It was cute. Um, it was cute. And that was all. It was just cute. It was just like, okay, their makeup was the best thing that they had going on. The way the makeup was done, they really did look like wooden puppets. That makeup was so detailed. The makeup artist showed their ass on that one. And you could see it on TV. It actually, on television, it showed them. They really looked like their skin was wooden. The makeup artist showed their ass on that makeup. Shady ass Law. Law is so shady when he leaned over to Jamila and said, "Are you bored?" I said, "Oh, bitch." He's so rude, child. So rude. Anyway, it wasn't boring. It was just, it was, if this was the only performance we seen, you'd have went up for it. But when you seen everything else and they were following T-Sheet. Anyway, moving on. So that was that. Next category for this ball was European runway with 2 or 3 members. I said, Lord have mercy. I said right away, I said the highest scores are going to be the people who actually venture into using 3. You know, because it's very much, it has to be in sync. So the more people you add, listen, the bigger impact, but the larger the difficulty to keep everything in line. And when in line, them feet in line, them turns in line, those pauses and poses in line. It can't be 1, 2, 3 unless that's the plan of the move, and then it come back together. But and then you better execute it and make sure they know that's what you're doing. So the more members you add, the more difficult. But I said, you know, if you do 3 people, of course your score gonna be higher. Anyway, moving on. Balenciaga was holding Superior House, so they literally bought their way right into the final battle. It was like, y'all ain't chopping us. Ain't gonna be no chop. That's what we using our power for. We going into the final battle, which was smart. It was smart. Tishi, I was waiting on Tishi because again, House of Dancers. In sync is their business. It's what they do. So I was waiting. They turned it. They turned it. They killed it with 3 members. Turned it out. But where they made their mistake is after we started doing the breakdown. Everybody got the 10s, and then we started doing the breakdown. They messed up. They messed up because when they were walking, it wasn't one of those shady categories. And we just talked last week about shade being thrown. You know, this is the world that the judges are in. I don't know where they get that shit from, but the ballroom is about shade a lot, most of the times. And when they were walking for the walk off, that damn Mother Tishi took and sprayed some hairspray or something on Cha Cha or at Cha Cha, and it gave very shade, and what it did with the judges was push them to the Cha-Cha side. They were like, that bitch, that wasn't even necessary, bitch. Because they was giving it to each other, back and forth. But, yeah, when she did that, she knocked herself out. They didn't like the shade. They were like, they didn't care for it. And that's what I said, they're a shady bunch. You never know which side of the coin they're going to be on. So Cha-Cha ended up actually winning overall. She won $5,000 for her house. The bitch's hair was everything. The bitch had this flat iron goddamn hair, and it was just moving. And these boots, I said, come on, Cha-Cha. It was good. Then there was the duck walk category. Now, you know duck walk, baby. Listen, when I say that I felt for Miss Simone, honey, Miss Simone made her claim to fame. She said, listen, this is what I do. I'm a girl, honey. And I'm more comfortable in heels than I am in tennis shoes. So duck walk is my thing. Being down like that is not no problem. Standing on my toes is what I do. Bring it. And listen, when I tell you that bitch, she duck walk, duck walk, duck walk, and she went through all of it. Honey, she got her 10. She went through each of the people, knocked them out, boom, 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 one by one. But when it got down to the end, baby, you could tell that baby, them legs was feeling like rubber bands. I said, girl, I get it. And that's what they said, girl, it's endurance. Endurance. But look with the payoff. That bitch won the category, $10,000. I said, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, but them legs felt like rubber bands. And you can see it in that last battle. I was like, come on, girl, hold on. Hold on, bitch. Don't you let no bitch come from the back and snatch it up from you. It was endurance. And they didn't. They did not give her a break at all. They didn't give her a break. I said, y'all shady. They didn't give her. She earned that $10,000. Anyway, moving on. So then we get all the way down to the points. And that was the other thing. The judges didn't give their scores individually where you could see them. They were tabulated in the back and they were given anonymous, the scores. When they broke it all the way out, House of Tishi came out as the superior house and got $10,000. And second place was Balenciaga and they got $5,000. And that's how this ball went. That was the plastic, fantastic ball, toy ball. And it was good. Like I said, this was possibly my favorite episode thus far of this season. I enjoyed it. Like I said, I was watching and I was like, dang, it's going to go off. It's like, okay. So this was good. I hope we could stay here. And I don't go back to fussing next week. But we need to stay here. But I really enjoyed myself today on Legendary. All right, y'all. I'll catch y'all next week. Bye.